See. All right. Welcome, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our 2020 Virtual Apprentice Company Showcase. Welcome and thank you for being here. My name is Katie Bruno, and I am the Director of Education for the Nashville Shakespeare Festival. And I am so pleased that you are joining us tonight to celebrate these 20 apprentices that I have had the pleasure to meet and work with over the past 2 weeks. I wanted to take just a quick second to recognize the amazing teachers that made this program possible. And what I love so much is that because of this virtual platform, our teachers tuned in from all across the country. So pardon me while I read, but we had teachers joining us from Washington State, Oregon, California, Chicago, Illinois, East Tennessee, Utah, and right here in Nashville. And I want to take just a quick second to name all of these amazing people. And we are so grateful to you. So thank you to Nick Ferrucci, Melinda Seawalk, Natasha Harris, Herb Parker, Marco Vega, Renee Mion, Denise Hicks, Jim Warren, Carrie Brewer, Jordan Gleaves, and now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Sam Ashdown, who you know and love, our Apprentice Company Director for this year. Welcome, Sam.
Hello, thank you so much, Katie. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us right now. We're so happy to share some pieces with you all. So we have obviously been doing the Apprentice Company online this year, which has been exciting. For the past 2 weeks, these 20 apprentices and the guest teachers have been meeting for 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. We've had 10 guest teachers, like Katie mentioned. We've been able to offer classes such as clowning, singing, dancing, yoga, creative writing, scansion, auditioning, Suzuki, and stage combat. One of our questions going into this summer was if moving the Apprentice Company online would cause us to lose some of the ensemble that we've had in person. And it's been a real exciting thing to see this these 20 apprentices build such a supportive, amazing ensemble through this online format. We're really excited to share some of the things that they've been working on. These are going to be works in process. So these are not final performances. We are very much in process, but we're excited to share with all the viewers some things that we've been working on. You're going to see some dances that I'm going to explain a bit more about in a second. Sonnets that the apprentices have written themselves, and then Shakespeare monologues that the apprentices have been working on for just the past 2 weeks. Yeah, I'll explain a bit more in a second about what those dances will entail, because they're not just normal dances. But before I do that, I would love to introduce you to this year's 2020 Zoom Apprentice Company. So they will introduce their name and something that they are taking away from ApCo this summer. All right, so take it away.
Hello, I'm Quinley Brady, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. What I've learned from the Apprentice Company is the deeper understanding of the Shakespearean text and the iambic pentameter.
Hi, I'm Dorian Marron, and what I'm taking away from ApCo is just a greater appreciation for Shakespeare and more tools that I can use under my belt as an actor.
Hi, I'm Storm Sloan, and I think my biggest takeaway this summer is a deeper ownership of my personal style as a Shakespearean actor.
Hi, I'm Aleks Krutainis, and my biggest takeaway from ApCo is trusting my preparation so I can feel totally free and open to discovery in the moment.
Hi, I'm Maggie Blackburn, and this summer I'm taking away a whole new appreciation for how acting is about trust and realness in the presence of others.
Hello, my name is Marel Smietana, and something that I'm taking away from ApCo this year is a much greater understanding of Shakespearean text and how to read it.
Hey, I'm Evelyn Bunce. I have gained the confidence needed to be able to tackle Shakespeare.
Hello, I'm Deanna High, and what I'm taking away from this training is having confidence in my work.
Hi, I'm Emma Harvey, and something that I'm taking away from ApCo this summer is a greater confidence in tackling and performing Shakespeare.
Hello, my name is Christian Cooper, and my biggest takeaway has been to have high goals but low expectations.
Hi, my name is Ava Glover, and something I'm taking away from this experience is a greater technique and a lot more confidence in going into Shakespeare and a better foundation for developing character.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Thompson, and something I'm taking away from Summer ApCo is all sorts of bookwork that I had no idea how to do before.
Hi, I'm Victoria Thompson, and something that I'm taking away from ApCo this summer is the idea of personalization and having more empathy for the character I'm portraying.
Hi, I'm Peri Barnhill, and my biggest takeaway from ApCo is to have high goals and low expectations.
Whoops, you're muted. You're muted, Jen.
Of course, I'm the one person that does that. I am Jennifer Whitney, and what I'm taking away are more tools to approach Shakespeare in text.
Hi, I'm Keelan Farrell, and I am taking away a deeper understanding of my character and ways to approach Shakespeare's text.
Hi, I'm Mirabel Banks, and what I'm taking away from ApCo this year is just general improvement in every aspect of Shakespearean theater.
Hi, I'm Emma Reinbold, and one thing that I'm taking away from ApCo is learning how to break down the text into the smallest pieces to build up a character that's real.
Hello, I'm Colin Howard, and my biggest takeaway from ApCo is how to learn from the text, how rather than to act the character, to be the character.
Hello there, I'm Chloe LaMar, and I have been finding my voice in Shakespeare's language.
Great. So again, thank you to all the teachers that taught this apprentice company this summer. So what you are now going to see are these works in process. So we're going to start with, before, I just want to also mention, you may see a picture pop up when people show their hidden video for the first time. These are portraits that the apprentices have found that represent the character in their Shakespeare monologue. The first three pieces that you're going to see are dance pieces where these apprentices are physically dancing the punctuation from their Shakespeare monologue. So this is an exercise that we did in class. They chose music that their Shakespeare monologue inspired in them without lyrics, and now they have put their punctuation to that music. So those are the first three things that you're going to see. And then you will see the Shakespeare monologues that they've been working on for the past 2 weeks and their sonnets that they have written themselves. So without further ado, take it away, Aleks.
This is Juliet from Romeo and Juliet. Thou know'st the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo. But else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those who have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst ere I was ware, my true love's passion. Therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
This is Henry V from Henry V. We are glad the Dauphin is so pleasant with us. His present and your pains we thank you for. We will in France, by God's grace, play a set shall strike his father's crown into the hazard. Tell him he hath made a match with such a wrangler that all the courts in France shall be disturbed with chases. And we understand him well, how he comes o'er us with our wilder days, not measuring what use we made of them. We never valued this poor seat of England, and therefore, living hence, did give ourselves to barbarous license, as 'tis ever common that men are merriest when they are from home. But tell the Dauphin that I will keep my state, be like a king, and show my sail of greatness when I do rouse me in my throne of France. For that I have laid by my majesty and plodded like a man for working days. But I will rise there with so full a glory that I will dazzle all the eyes of France. Yea, strike the Dauphin blind to look on us, and tell the pleasant prince that this mock of his hath turned his balls to gunstones. And his soul shall stand sore charged for the wasteful vengeance that shall fly with them. For this his mock shall mock many 1,000 widows out of their dear husbands, mock mothers from their sons, mock castles down, and some are yet ungotten and unborn that shall have cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn.
This is Puck from A Midsummer Night's Dream.
My mistress with a monster is in love, near to her close and consecrated bower. While she was in her dull and sleeping hour, a crew of pashes, rude mechanicals, who work for bread upon Athenian stalls, were met together to rehearse a play intended for great Theseus's nuptial day. The shallowest, a skin of that barren sort, who Pyramus presented in their sport. Forsook his scene and entered in a break when I did him at this advantage take. An ass's knoll, I fixed it on his head. Anon, his Thisbe must be answered, and forth my mimic comes. One day can spy, as wild geese, that the creeping fowler eye, so to his sight, away his fellows fly! And at our stamp here o'er and o'er one falls, he murder cries, and help from Athens calls. I led them on in this distracted fear, and left sweet Pyramus translated there. So in that moment, so came to pass, that Tanya waked, and straightway loved an ass.
This is Julia from The Two Gentlemen of Verona. Oh, hateful hands to tear such loving words, injurious wasps to feed on such sweet honey, and kill the bees that yield it with your stings. I'll kiss each several paper for amends. Look, here is writ, kind Julia. Unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. And here is writ, love wounded Proteus. Poor wounded name, my bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed. And thus I search it with a sovereign kiss. But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind, blow not a word away until I have found each letter in the letter, except my known name, that some whirlwind bear unto a ragged, fearful, hanging rock, and throw it hence into the raging sea. Lo, here on one line is his name twice writ. Poor forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia, that I'll tear away. And yet I will not, since so prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus I will fold them on one another. Now kiss, embrace, contend. Do what you will.
Hi, this is my sonnet entitled The Beast. Woke I from deepest slumber of the night, this stoiben dreams I gladly left behind. For brightest morn then welcomed me with light, to help me shed the thoughts that taunt my mind. Arose from bed, my crackling feet moved forth, toward stovetop, to brew up my source of life. For nothing else could ever match its worth. My thoughts would soothe a beast that caused me strife. While sipping darkest liquid cleared my grog, struck I was with the nightmares from before. I shook my fears and flew out for a jog. Marron, mid-stride, I heard a grumbled roar. Manage dial, I spun round quick to brace and found a tiny bulldog snorting face.
This is my original sonnet, After the Breakup. You shadow a room in blistering heat. No escape from your heavy, burning glare. Though at first you seem a pleasure to meet, your presence soon becomes a cross to bear. The air becomes thick, stagnant, and muggy, so suffocating I can't catch my breath. No relief from a breeze sweet like honey. All foreheads near you begin to drip sweat. Your words are mosquitoes. The sting gets worse. Long after you've gone, the scab still remains. As winter moves in, she'll remove your curse, fending you off with frost, hail, wind, and rain. I once compared thee to a summer's day. The quote still stands, though in a different way.
This is my sonnet, Atlas. By nephew mine, always I stand condemned, feet firmly rooted on the ground below, arms raised o'erhead while deep my back does bend to bear this weight of heavenly cargo. Mortals explore the earth before my feet and, looking up, exclaim, cry out in wonder at the changing colors. Once did I cheat. Half god, half mortal, sought he, in blunder, of my daughters the nymphs Hesperides, that I for him should fetch their apples gold. Did not he know, the fool, young Heracles, whilst I retrieved those fruits the sky he'd hold? Though tricked ere long to return, the brief reprieve still brings me joy, as tapestry time does weave.
This is Queen Margaret from Henry VI, Part 3. What? Was it you that would be England's king? Was't you that revelled in our parliament and made a preachment of your high descent? Where are your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George. And where's that valiant crook-backed prodigy, Dicky, your boy, that with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? Or with the rest, where is thy darling Rutland? Look, York, I stained this napkin with the blood that valiant Clifford with his rapier's point made issue from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water for his death, I give thee this, to dry thy cheeks withal. Alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly, I should lament thy miserable state. I prithee, grieve, to make me merry, York. What, hath thy fiery heart so parched thine entrails that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Why art thou patient, man? Thou shouldst be mad. And I, to make thee mad, do mock thee thus. Stamp, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. Thou wouldst be feed, I see, to make me sport. York cannot speak unless he wears a crown for York. And lords, bow low to him. Hold you his hands whilst I do set it on. Ay, marry, sirs, now looks he like a king. Off with the crown, and with the crown his head, and whilst we breathe, take time to do him dead.
This is Hamlet. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do? Had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak, like John a Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pated cross, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie in the throat as deep as to the lungs? Who does me this? Swoons, I should take it. For it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered, and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's awful, bloody bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain, oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I?
Hello, this is Marc Antony from Julius Caesar. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men, come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? Oh, judgment! Thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin, there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
This is Phebe from As You Like It. I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tell'st me there is murder in mine eye. 'Tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes, which are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be railed tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill thee. Now counterfeit to swoon, why now fall down, or if thou canst not, oh, for shame, for shame! Lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now show the wound mine eye hath made in thee. Scratch thee but with the pin, and there remains some scar of it. Lean upon a rush, the cicatrice incapable in pressure thy palm some moment keeps. But now, mine eyes which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not. Nor, I am sure, there is no force in eyes which can do hurt.
Hi, this is my original sonnet called Brain Rot. My brain is nothing like it used to be. It's full of mold and mildew and rot. My eyes are clouded. It's so hard to see. I can't understand how this way I got. My friends call me a hypochondriac. I won't leave home for fear of getting sick. My mom said that I'm an insomniac because it's 5 a.m. and I just feel ick. The voices in my head go round and round. Their harsh words sometimes make me want to cry. So in my room, I feel I am bound and my symptoms will not just let me lie. But the words are fake and the rot is gone, and the sun will soon rise on a new dawn.
Hello there. This is my sonnet entitled Method. Who is the tormentor inside mine's eyes that never stops delving in deeper depths? Do I search for correction and surmise, or do I reach for a reason for a breath? Who is the sickness that I know so well, a lifeless figure of one left unheard? Is my mouth made for your memoirs retell, or in telling will I find my words? They say in method you find the madness, but my madness found a new point of view. To mask your pain with why so serious was the genius of the Joker in you. Liars in wait, we all sit on stages saying smiles are the key to forgetting. Your grin leaves scars in my memory's pages. Here's to hoping sleep dims my besetting.
Hello, this is my sonnet entitled Unavoidable. In time, the vigor of my youth will set. The wise wrinkles of age upon brow rest. With tick of timepiece, belly swells, minds forget. In time's due course, age will possess, infest. 'Twould please me to be wise, except for age. With age, the mind will fall into abyss. What will this do me? Can I be saved by rage? All men for age will fall into the mist. And what lies past that dull and misty veil? Is it a paradise or weary dark? Are we not engines racing off the rail? For time, as engine crash, doth leave its mark. And what of those who have met the journey's end? I must retire, for mind is meat to mend.
Hi, this is Petruchio from The Taming of the Shrew. Thus have I politically begun my reign, and 'tis my hope to end successfully. My falcon now is sharp and passing empty. Until she stoop, she must not be full gorged, for then she never looks upon her lure. Another way I have to man my haggard, to make her come and know her keeper's call, that is to watch her, as we watch these kites that bait and beat and will not be obedient. She ate no meat today, nor none shall eat. Last night she slept not, nor tonight she shall not. As with the meat, some undeserved fault I'll find about the making of the bed. And here I'll fling the pillow, there the bolster, this way the coverlet, another way the sheets. And amid this hurly, I intend that all is done in reverent care of her. And in conclusion, she shall watch all night. And if she chance to nod, I'll rail and brawl, and with the clamor keep her still awake. This is a way to kill a wife with kindness. And thus I'll curb her mad and headstrong humor. He who knows better how to tame a shrew, now let him speak. 'Tis charity to show.
This is Amelia from Othello. But I do think it is their husbands' fault if wives do fall. Say that they slack their duties or pour our treasures onto foreign laps, or else burst out in peevish jealousies, throwing restraint upon us. Or say they strike us, or scant our former having in despite. Why, we have galls, and though we have some grace, yet have we some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have grace like them. We see and smell and have their palates both for sweet and sour as husbands have. What is it that they do when they change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. Is it, and doth affection breed it? I think it doth. Is it frailty that thus errs? It is so too. And have not we affections, desires for sport and frailty as men have? Then let them use us well. Else let them know the ills we do, their ills instruct us so.
This is Helena from All's Well That Ends Well. Then I confess, here on my knee before high heaven and you, that before you and next unto high heaven, I love your son. My friends were poor, but honest. So's my love. Be not offended, for it hurts not him that he is loved of me. I follow him not by any token of presumptuous suit, nor would I have him till I do deserve him. Yet never know how that desert should be. I know I love in vain, strive against hope, yet in this captious and untenable sieve, I still pour in the waters of my love and lack not to lose still. Thus I adore the sun that looks upon his worshipper, but knows of him no more. My dearest madam, let not your hate encounter with my love, for loving where you do, but if yourself, whose aged honor cites a virtuous youth, did ever in so true a flame of liking wish chastely and love dearly, that your Diane was both herself and love. Oh, Then give pity to her, whose state is such that cannot choose, but lend and give where she is sure to lose, that seeks not to find that her search implies, but rid alike, live sweetly where she dies.
This is Cresta from Troilus and Cressida. Hard to seem one, but I was one, my lord, with the first glance that ever. Pardon me, if I confess much, you will play the tyrant. I love you now, but not till now, so much but I might master it. In faith, I lie. My thoughts were like unbridled children grown too headstrong for their mother. See we fools? Why have I blabbed? Who shall be true to us when we are so unsecret to ourselves? But though I loved you well, I wooed you not. And yet, good faith, I wished myself a man, or that we women had men's privilege of speaking first. Sweet, bid me hold my tongue, for in this rapture I shall surely speak the thing I shall repent. See, your silence, cunning and dumbness from my weakness draws my very soul of counsel. Stop my mouth.
This is my original sonnet entitled My Friend. Dear friend, now dead, and not with age or honor, to prophecy's bleak warning were we blind. Since yet I live, then must I grow stronger. Cursed ambitions, true, I also find, of dear cherished dogs who've cruelly slaughtered my friend beneath secrecy's dark shroud. Say, thrice true was I to effort's daughter. Her crown it was did misjudge the crowd. The dogs of war have lapped your beating blood. Forgive me, I must shake their paws. But watch, I'll turn them into a cud, to be bit and torn twixt judgment's gnashing jaws. A hymn of praise will whet grim judgment's teeth. Let the furies hunt your butchers in the street.
Hi, this is my original sonnet entitled Ode to Spicy Jerk Plantain Chips. I dream of walking down the aisle to you. We find ourselves repeating the same dance, yet each meeting brings feelings entirely new. This August heat chills in your radiance. Betwixt my heart and soul is where you'll be. Young Cupid is entitled A Pay Raise, due to the perfect bullseye shot straight through me. My heart is pierced, but I have only praise. Your peppery kiss doth left me insatiable. With lips of fire, no ale can quench my thirst. All milks, all teas, all wines have not done well. You season my days, and yet I am cursed. An unrequited love so easy to spot. At last, to love a love that must be bought.
Hi, this is my original sonnet called Is the Bard a Fraud? When the quill pen quivers and no ideas come hither, the writer finds themselves discontent when their pen continues to be bent. The cursive text finds itself put to rest. The bard surely would have known grammar, or even pentameter. Oh, that some muse would speak through me. Tell me about rhymes and syllables. When will the pentameter come? and where from? Wasn't the bard blessed by gods? Or was he just a fraud? Won't my poetry reach the heights of Tennyson? Or will it become an unmelodious melody sung? Oh, that I could speak a speech instead of having my pen constantly overreach, or that I could have an unrequited love won or lost, but the only thing I get is exhaust. Thank you.
This is Princess of France from Love's Labour's Lost. A time methinks too short to make a world without end bargain in. No, no, my lord, your grace is perjured much, full of dear guiltiness. And therefore this, if for my love, as there is no such cause, you will do aught, this shall you do for me. Your oath I will not trust, but go with speed to some forlorn and naked hermitage, remote from all the pleasures of the world. There stay until the 12 celestial signs have brought about the annual reckoning. If this austere, insociable life change not your offer made in heat of blood, if frosts and fasts, hard lodging and thin weeds nip not the gaudy blossoms of your love, then at the expiration of the year, come challenge me. Challenge me by these deserts, and by these virgin palm now kissing thine. I will be thine. Until that instant shut my woeful self up in a mourning house, raining the tears of lamentation for the remembrance of my father's death. If this thou do deny, let our hands part, neither entitled in the other's heart.
This is Ferdinand from The Tempest. Admired Miranda, indeed the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady have I eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongues hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues have I, like several women, never any with so fun soul, but some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, oh, you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best. I am in my condition a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. I would not so, and would no more endure this wooden slavery than to suffer the flesh fly blow my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant I saw you, did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make it slave to it, and for your sake am I this patient log man.
This is Rosalind from As You Like It. And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother, that you insult, exalt, and all at once o'er the wretched? But though you have no beauty, as by my faith, I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Odds my little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, 'tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can entame my spirits to your worship. You, foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, And out of you, she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well.
Hello, this is Prince Hal from Henry IV, Part 1. I know you all, and will a while uphold the unyoked humor of your idleness. Yet herein will I imitate the sun, who doth permit the base contagious clouds to smother up his beauty from the world, that when he please again to be himself, being wanted, he may be more wondered at by breaking through the foul and ugly mists of vapors that did seem to strangle him. If all the year were playing holidays, to sport would be as tedious as to work. Yet when they seldom come, they wish for come. And nothing pleaseth but rare accidents. So, when this loose behavior I throw off, and pay the debt I never promised, then how much better than my word I am? By so much shall I falsify men's hopes, and like bright metal on a sullen ground, my reformation glittering o'er my fault shall show more goodly, and attract more eyes than that which hath no foil to set it off. I'll so offend, to make offense a skill, redeeming time, when men think least I will.
Hello. This is this is a sonnet I wrote entitled A Departure. When we first met, the summer had just gone. 'Twas early autumn in that grassy field. Those butterflies I dared not linger on, lay dormant months before my heart would yield. As winter came, my love would only grow, and be returned by you by some good chance. By knowing you, I have begun to know that beautiful endeavor called romance. Goodbye is such a painful thing to say when paths diverge or roads come to an end. I hate to leave, but I don't want to stay. Adventures call for both of us, my friend. The car is full, there's nothing left to pack. Good luck at school. I hope we'll both be back.
Hi, this is an original sonnet titled Writer's Block or Real Sonnet. I started off by typing something vague. Is that the aptest way I can express a pestilence of mind, an empty plague, the absence of my thoughts from fresh finesse? This cotton candy fluff of words I spin for spectators, a sugar-coated thought, is inhaled faster than I can begin, and when ingested causes teeth to rot, and thus the ennui permeates the air. Humanity doth ache for counseling! Our eyes fade, and we fumble in our snare. Let puppets hide their strained and fraying string as I do now, a hollow wooden doll, whose once nimble fingers do not but stall.
My sonnet, I called it Half Written, Half Shy. One day never has enough time for me. I'm always overworked and overtaxed. Only food I ate today, pizza that was free. Drank too much last night, got completely schmacked. Lost my books and notes, do not know what's due tomorrow. Should I get a coffee or an energy drink? Who cares? Who are you? Right. We had math together. I'm not sure about anything. I just need sleep.
This is a sonnet I wrote called The Buried Gold. There was a man who found the buried gold. They say he was down on his luck and poor. So when his shovel struck the chest, he told every person he could. The people tore after him, pleading for a share, crying that the winter had been rough for their lot. But the man had spent all the gold, buying himself a mansion, useless goods he bought. When the people saw his estate, they stood outside his fence, torches in hand. They leapt over the fence, and the large mansion's wood was burning. As the fire spread, the man slept with all of his riches. The man didn't wake, but the people were warm and he was thanked.
This is Hamlet. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream, aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the poor man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would these fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but at the dread of something after death? The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with a pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pith and moment with disregard their currents turn away, and lose the name of action.
This is Casca from Julius Caesar. Are not you moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Oh, Cicero, I have seen tempests, when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with the threatening clouds. But never till tonight, never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world too saucy with the gods and senses them to send destruction. A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined. and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I had not since put up my sword against the Capitol, I met a lion, who glared upon me and went surly by without annoying me. And there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say these are their reasons. They're natural, for I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon.
This is Joan from Henry VI, Part 1. First, let me tell you whom you have condemned. Not me, begotten of a shepherd's swain, but issued from the progeny of kings. Virtuous and holy, chosen from above. By inspiration of celestial grace to work exceeding miracles on earth. I never had to do with wicked spirits, but you who are polluted with your lusts, stained with the guiltless blood of innocence, corrupt and tainted with 1,000 vices because you want the grace that others have. You judge it straight a thing impossible, to compass wonders but by help of devils. No, misconceived Joan of Arc hath been a virgin from her tender infancy, chaste and immaculate in very thought, whose maiden blood, thus rigorously effused, will cry for vengeance at the gates of heaven. Will nothing turn your unrelenting hearts? Then, Joan, discover thine infirmity, that warranteth by law to be thy privilege. I am with child, ye bloody homicides. Murder not then the fruit within my womb, although ye hale me to a violent death.
This is Edgar from King Lear. I heard myself proclaimed, and by the happy hollow retreat escaped the hunt. No port is free. No place that guard and most unusual vigilance does not attend my taking. Whiles I may escape, I will preserve myself. And bethought to take the basest, and most poor shape that ever penury in contempt of man brought near to beast. My face, a grime with filth, blanket my loins, elf all my hair in knots, and with presented nakedness outface the winds and persecutions of the sky. The country gives me proof and precedent of bedlam beggars who, with roaring voices, strike in their numbed and mortified bare arms, pins, wooden pricks, nails, sprigs of rosemary, and with this horrible object, from low farms, poor pelting villages, sheepcotes, and mills, sometime with lunatic bands, sometime with prayers, enforce their charity. Poor Turley God, poor Tom, that's something yet. Edgar, I nothing am.
Thank you so much for watching. Will all the apprentices come out? Awesome. Thank you so much. Go ahead and unmute yourselves and just say thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great work, everyone.
Everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us.
Night.
Night.
Good night. Thank you.